fun friends, this is Janet with Photography Makes, and today I'm coming on to show you how to make these really cute keychains with a little figurine at the bottom. So that's what he looks like. These are really simple, easy to put together, but it was something that I've been wanting to make for a while, and I was inspired by these little, these are called strawberry shortcake. What are these? They're just like little blind bags. But anyways, these are all the designs in this particular collection. So I got 2 pound cakes, so we're going to use pound cake as an example. I got lemon chiffon, which is this little girly, and then the kitty that you saw, which I don't, oh, custard is the name of the kitty cat for strawberry shortcake. But I thought these were really cute. So these could be turned into a journal charm if you wanted them to be, but I'm just putting them on little key rings today. So what are you gonna need? Okay, you're gonna need some sort of jump ring, split ring, key ring of any kind. It could be like a carabiner, it could be, I think this is, it could be anything really. Whatever you would use for a keychain. You're gonna need a selection of beads. I have my collection of pony beads out here today. So I've got these, I've got these. I've got some Hishi beads. I've got a mix of like my bead soup out. So I'm just looking around at what I have, and I'm only using what I have. So be inspired by the items you already have in your collection. I've got even some of these like little dice beads that I think are fun here. And I also have these bulky like these like chunky heart beads too. So I think we're gonna use these for my little next design, because I do have a bunch of these in yellow or green. It's like a lime greeny color, even though they do go on sideways, but I think it should be okay. So, okay. I'm also using some pliers here, some scissors. I'm using elastic cord. And then to end this stuff off, I'm using this like ribbon clamp and a bead tube that I look like has been moved. I'm not sure where it went now, but I had a, that's okay. I've got a whole box here, so this is the box. So I'll just pull this baggie out here. But these are tube crimps. I think I said class before, but they're tube crimps. And these are the bigger ones, so these will go around the elastic just fine. And then there's other options for like crimp covers and stuff, so it's like a crimp kit. You can get those on Amazon. I'm using this little like hand tool. This is to make the hole for the eyelet for the charm, and then you need little eyelets, so I have these here. Okay, I think, oh, and then I'm using some super glue to hold the eyelet into the charm. Okay, so let's get started here. I think we'll use her for our example, and then we're gonna make the puppy dog, okay? All right, so to do this is very simple. You're gonna you can use a drill too if you have one. You're gonna want a little bit so that it's not too big, so that the eyelet can fit in there and not wiggle around too much. But you're gonna center where you want this to go. And I got this, it's a little hand driver, I think it's called. You can get these off Amazon. You can find them. I found this at Hobby Lobby. And I think it was in the jewelry section actually, with like the RV resin stuff. It's like a little hand drill. So you're just going to sit here and twist this. And you want to go far enough in that the eyelet sits where the screws aren't showing. And some of these are hollow, so like I just got to a hollow bit. So this should work perfectly now. See, but it creates that little hole there. Okay, and then just as an example, see it fits in, see how it fits right flush with the toy. So we're just going to add a little bit of super glue here. And just a dab. You don't need much more than that. Okay. And you're just going to pop this into the hole here and make sure it's centered the way you want it, or positioned the way you want it to be positioned, and then just let it sit and dry. Okay, so now for the actual key chain part, I'm using this elastic clear cord. This is from Walmart actually. I'm using about 12 inches of cord, if I can find the end of this thing, which is weird because I just used it, right? Hold on a second. Here it is. It's just sticking together. That's okay. It's a bit warm out here on my porch. We're in a different location today. So you can, I'm going to cut a little bit longer than the 12 inches just so I have enough room. It's going to depend on how long you want your keychain to be. I don't have a measuring tape with me, but I would say this is probably what, 7 inches. My hand's about 6 inches, so yeah, so there you go. It's approximately 6.5 inches. So you want to cut your cord to, you know, cover that. So the first thing I'm going to do here, obviously you can do this so many different ways, and I guess it's going to depend on like your beads and what kind of materials you have. You're going to want to give this a little stretch, but I started off by putting this through the eyelet here once your toy, once it dries to your toy, and pulling it through, and then I made a little overhand knot because I want this to stay in place. And I realize this is clear, I'm sorry, but it's just an overhead knot. You want to get as close to the top as you can. And give that a little pull. Okay, and now the fun part, you get to design what you are going to use for beads. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way. I don't know if you can't see to the side of me, so I'm gonna grab, I think, I'm gonna do like a similar pattern to the other. So I have these little pony beads here that are got some glitter in them. I think they're so pretty. So let's do 2 pony beads to 1 heart and see how that looks. Now, of course, you can mix these up. You can separate the strands and make 2 separate beaded strands. I mean, the options are endless. So you design what makes you happy. You can also make this like rainbow and do, you know, 2 of each color and then add a different little statement bead. But so far I'm liking this. I think this is cute. I decided to make some keychains today because I discovered that there's a little keychain exchange in my area. I had no idea. I know Portland does a lot of the little trinket and different kinds of exchanges. I think we're going to do 3 and we're going to end this on 2. And I thought it'd be fun to make some little keychains for that. So that's what I'm making these for. So I hope they turn out cute. Okay, so that is going to be the end of my design here. So it's a little shorter, I think. Is it a little shorter than the other one, or is it about the same? Okay, so now you're going to put on your crimp tube, and you're going to want to take the ends of these and you're going to want to feed them back through the crimp tube to make 2 loops on the end here. All right. And then you're going to want to pull this down to be as close to these beads as you can get them. And then you're going to want to make this loop smaller. I hope you can see that here. So we're just pulling this through so we can make this loop a little bit smaller. Sometimes putting something inside helps. So let's get this nice and snug. Okay, but we want a little bit of room because we want to be able to grab these loops when we put the other piece over top of it. Okay, so I'm happy with that positioning here. I'm gonna hold this and I'm gonna just squeeze with my pliers over the crimp tube. So the reason we need this crimp tube is to make sure that our beads don't fly off. And of course, this is not big, the beads are bigger than the crimp tube, as you can tell. All right, so we're gonna pull this, make sure nothing's moving. Looks like it's good. So we're gonna put now the ribbon clasp over top of this. And I want to cover this. We're gonna put, I want to put this through here, and I want to try to get these little loops in there too. Let's see if I can do that with my little fingers here. Let's see, can I get them? Might not be able to get them, that's okay. I didn't get them the first time either. I just put this over the crimp bead and just closed it like that. Actually, you can see that the little loops are at the top. So we're gonna put this through there and hopefully catch those. Yeah, that's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. Okay, great. So I just gave this a little press with my fingers. I'm now gonna squeeze this with my pliers here real tight. So we want to capture all of those plastic laces in there. And then we're going to carefully snip these two loose ends. So we don't want to get the other ones. It would ruin the whole project. All right. I'm going to inspect my work here. I want to make sure these are nice and tight. There's no gaps. It's a little uneven, but it'll do. All right, now I'm going to put my loop on here. Or my split ring, I should say, around my jump ring. Told you this is a little fiddly, but it's not hard. It's just, you gotta get everything positioned right. That'll work in your own fingers. Okay, so there we go, got it. Now if you grab this jump ring, there we go, and then we're just gonna close it shut. Give it a little press, and you want these to meet up obviously so nothing slips out. And now these beads won't go over the other beads. And is there something I'm missing? Did I bend? I think I bent the top casing here, which is okay. We can kind of fiddle with it a little bit. I didn't mean to do that. But that completes our little bag charm, or our little keychain in this case. But aren't these cute? So easy, simple to put together, minus the fiddly bits. Now, of course, if you used smaller beads, I think it'd be easier because you can use, you could use the crimp tubes, and then the beads won't fall off. But since these are pony beads, they're thicker, and they're just got a little bit more space. So you have to consider that when you're picking your beads. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day. Bye.